We've just spoken to Mpho now saying that, just yesterday, KZN witnessed 5 months worth of rain in just one day. Talk to us about what the latest is there.
Unati, good afternoon to you and good afternoon to our viewers. Well, unbelievable scenes across the city of Durban. We started earlier on around lunchtime in the south of Durban there, where parts of the N2 were completely closed off and roads and the freeway submerged. We then moved into the city, into parts of an area called the Chesterville. Again there where we saw roads completely destroyed, rubble and trees strewn across the road. But this site here, Onati, we are now on the M19 at the Quarry Road informal settlement, and this has been the worst kind of devastation and destruction that we have seen yet. This is one of the areas where authorities have urged communities that are living in low-lying areas to evacuate and leave those areas because they are not safe. Unfortunately, that message coming a little too late for the residents here of Quarry Road settlement. As you can see, this entire part here was eroded. We are told that there were shacks here that were swept away last night. People now are trying to recover and trying to salvage what is left of from their homes. Utter destruction here. Just looking at the devastation on the faces of community members. What you see down here, Unati, is people that have been able to find clothing that was washed away, and they're trying to clean up. We see young children, they're collecting water here that is leaking out of one of the drains or water pipes here. It's absolute destruction. As you can see, one of the water pipes that was damaged, and people are trying to collect water and wash their clothes. Very, very dangerous as well. I'm really looking at this, and they're also young children here. This area doesn't seem to be quite safe. We are still seeing, and I'm just going to ask my colleague Tulani just to pan a little bit on this side. We're actually seeing the soil in front of us is eroding, and this was a road leading to parts of this quarry Heights area here. The road in itself there completely destroyed. There is a danger tape that has been put up, but people, look, young children are cutting through. This is extremely dangerous. I was asking the community whether or not emergency services have been on scene, and of course we do know that they have said that they've been working throughout the night and trying to get to areas where there were emergencies. We are told that in this particular area, one person died. Of course, this is what we are getting from the residents and have not yet confirmed with the authorities. But people here have lost everything. Let me bring in one of the gentlemen who resides here. Baba, angibonga kakhulu nje isikhathi sakho, ngikubonela nasebusweni mesikhathi sikhamuka indlela eniyona nilahlekelwe yikho konke beninakho.
Lahlekelwe yikho konke. As a small businessman, ngiqala ngithi ngiyaphakama phakathi emphakathini, at the same time qasha khona futhi la khona emphakathini, ngithi ngiyaphakama ngithi ngiyaqasha. I lost everything, even ama tools, another business is fall everything down. I lost everything. Whatever can think, I lost.
Mingakanani imizi mhlambe egugulekile la izo?
More than 100 house. More than abantu aba-100 bangaphezulu futhi abangenazo izindlu.
Ngokwesimo ngiyabona kunanengane le ndawo ibukeka iphephile. Akukho la eningakwazi ukuthi nihambe niyokhosela khona njengoba nalezi imvula kulindele ukuthi mhlawumbe zingase zibuye.
Njengamanje ayikho ephathekayo indawo engathatha umphakathi uyise kuyona, and at the same time abanye abantu bashiye balahlekelwa ama-ID akhona baphume bebaleyo because umfula bongenile. Abanye abana even ukudla bazolala bekudlile njengoba sikhuluma, abanye balambile njengami.
Okay, but Asibonga Khulu, right, gentleman there just speaking to us that he not only lives here in this settlement, but he also ran his business and he has lost everything. Let me move here and speak to another lady with this little baby. There are a lot of children, a woman with young babies also who is saying that they do not even have formula, they do not even have nappies for their babies. They have lost absolutely everything. Sisubusho ukuthi ukawasitshela ngaphambi ukuthi siye emoyeni ukuthi awunalutho nakho nengane encane kodwa ulahlekelwe yonke into.
Yes, silahlekelwe yonke into, like yonke into siyoma wengane asiphumanga namakhadi omgomo, idificate zo matric abanye bethu izinto eziningi nje ama-diaper, ubisi lwengane, asinalutho, impahla ingane besilele nazo emgaqweni ku freeway and bezinethwa like the whole night. And into eyenzekile izingane zethu since besingenazo izinto zokushintsha, bekumele ukuthi impahla lezi bayigqokile zomele kubona njengamanje lezi impahla ayigqokile beyigqoka izolo bezimanzi sukela izolo, so sesahamba sofohlela sawolala emagarage nakhona amanzi mesihamba ahambela la phezulu kuthina, so besisaba besingaluza ngisho impilo zethu nezingane.
Namhlanje ke ebusuku niyazi ukuthi nizophuma nishonephi?
No, asazi, asinalo ithemba, sanjiswe nangeyikole ukuthi sohamba siyocelela ezikoleni ukuthi siyolala emaklasini, asazi noma into ezokwenza ngempela yini because ngendlela engibuka ngayo ngathi umphakathi onganakekile. Yes, because kade yenzeka 2019 yake yenzeka into kanjena kodwa still asikaze sisuswe lana sihlala at the same place kwenzeke the same thing eyenzeka, siluze nje izinto eziningi.
Mangakhuluma nje namakhansela abafuna ngabe banilekelela abasebenzela umphakathi sebefikile ukuzona uzokhulumisana nani?
No, namhlanje sikaze sibabone, so ke kavela ukuthi njengoba sasivotele amakhansela ahlukene, so kuzomela ukuthi siyele thina ezikoleni nakhona masiye ezikoleni kusho ukuthi siyogqekeza siyongena ngenkani because akekho sinakile. Yes.
All right, lady there just telling us about her experience that they had to flee their homes. Unati, last night her and her little baby were drenched. They left in the clothes that the baby was wearing. She has lost absolutely everything, all documents, and had to seek refuge at local service stations, saying that tonight they do not know where they are going to be able to sleep. I asked whether or not the authorities had come through, the local councillors, and they're saying no, nobody has come through, at least to direct them to a safer place where they are going to be able to get shelter. And thus you see community members here still trying to wade through this rubble and collecting water to wash some of their clothes. Further away there you can see in the distance how much the water, the river, as the river overflowed into those houses there, some just holding on. I mean, this shack here could collapse or fall over at any minute now. The devastation here, community members just sitting in utter despair. I'm going to ask my colleague Tulani just to show you these people here across the road, sitting here not knowing what is going to happen to them. You see those ladies there, they have lost absolutely everything. They're saying that in 2019 when the city eThekwini Metro was hit by torrential rains, they lost their homes as well during that time, but this time around the devastation and the destruction has been far greater. They were able to recover in 2019, but looking at the devastation this time, they aren't too sure whether or not they are going to be able to recover. They have not eaten. Some are just the lady there saying to us that they have not eaten. They are requesting for aid and food and water, and especially for the little children that are roaming around here. It does not look like the area is safe at all for these residents. However, having not been given an alternative place where they are going to be able to seek refuge for this evening. So come this evening, Unati, and the rains that are still expected to hit this afternoon, just looking at the clouds, are starting to gather. So we are not sure what is going to be of this community. I must say we've traveled across the city of Durban today, lots of destruction, but we have not yet seen signs or scenes like what we're seeing here at the Quarry Road informal settlement. Unati?
Ayanda, what is most concerning is that we are hearing that, whilst the rains may subside somewhat, flooding may still continue. And what is concerning is that it seems like, those residents don't have a place to go and may again be caught, in the flooding. One of the things that eThekwini Mayor said earlier today in his presser was that they are seeking help from the SANDF. I know you said you've crisscrossed throughout parts of Durban. Did you perhaps see any officials in other parts? I know that you said there are no officials where you are currently.
Unathi, we have seen emergency services on the road. The police officers as well have been out in their numbers around the major freeways and some of the small arterial routes as well, which are dangerous and people aren't able to access. In fact, my colleague Tulani is just alerting me now to a vehicle. It seems that from the eThekwini Municipality, the disaster management team. So they are now on the ground. I've also seen what looks like an officer from the fire department also here on scene. So it does look like help is arriving. We see the disaster management teams here have arrived. But what the community here are saying, Unati, is that they would like to get to a safe place and get a shelter. The SANDF, Unati, as you mentioned, yes, authorities did say that they had called on the military to come in and assist, and they were expecting that the military would be on the ground this afternoon. So we have not yet seen the military where we are, but we have seen, of course, a lot of police officers, emergency services. Onati, they do have their hands full. The situation is devastating. It's terrible across the city, and some of the areas we have not even been able to access. We saw emergency rescue helicopters earlier on with my colleague Tulani while we were down in the south, and we are told that they are trying to get to hard to reach areas where there are people that are stranded in those parts to rescue them and send them to places which are safer. So they are stretched on the ground looking at the devastation. Police officers are trying to do their best on the road. But what has also been concerning, Unati, is that there have been warnings. I mean, every hour we've been receiving updates from the authority warning motorists and warning residents as well, but we are still seeing people taking chances, trying to pass barriers and move the barricades that the police have put up. So that has really been rather concerning due to the fact that some of these areas and these barricades are being put up for the safety of residents in this city. But for areas like this as well, the authorities had said that people need to move out. And what we really should be seeing now is in the distance there, people have clothing on their lines, some of their goods outside, their belongings rather, outside their homes. So we're not really seeing them packing up what is left and moving, but they're telling us, Unati, that is because they don't know yet if they were to leave where they are expected to go. So we'll await, hopefully now that the disaster management teams are on the ground, they are going to be able to get the community and direct them to places of safety so that they move away from this area. It is extremely dangerous, Unati, as we are taking a risk in ourselves just being here. As you can just see, this part of the road is completely eroded, and the sand there, as I've been speaking to you, just keeps on eroding. So clearly this area needs to be evacuated. People in this area need to leave as soon as possible. Unati?
Ayanda Mhlongo, thank you so much for that update. And of course, Ayanda Mhlongo reporting live to us there from a Quarry Road, which is just west of Durban. She's been crisscrossing around the province. She says that particular road is one of the worst affected that she has seen. While she was crossing to us, at least authorities have managed to come to the scene. One wonders what help those residents will get as they have lost absolutely everything. We do understand at this point in time 45 people have been killed in those flooding in KZN. Of course, we are continuing to cover this story right here on the show. We're also expecting to speak to KwaZulu-Natal's Cooperative Governance and Traditional Affairs MEC, Sipho Hlomuka. So stay tuned for